Prisoner of War, a novel of World War II by Michael P. Spradlin. Imagine being 15 and fighting in a war, then imagine that you've been captured by the enemy and have very little hope of ever being rescued. What would you do? Would you continue to fight, or would you give in to the enemy and give up on life? Find out how Henry Forrest deals with this very scenario in the historical fiction book Prisoner of War, a novel of World War II by the author of The Enemy Above, Michael P. Spradlin. When my mom died, my home became a war zone, and my father was the enemy. Surly and resentful, he took out his anger on me. It's ironic that to escape one war, I ran away and found another. But it wasn't a war I chose. It was chosen for me. Henry Forrest, or Tree, is a 15-year-old boy who is sick of being hurt by his drunk father. He decides to join the Marines and lies about his age. His grandfather stands up for him and tells the Marines that he's 18 years old. The next day, he's sent to basic training and then to the Philippines. On December 8, 1941, Tree's colonel discovers that he has lied about his age and calls him into his office. As he is telling Tree that he will be sent back to the United States, bombs land around them and the Philippines begins to be taken over by the Japanese. Tree has no choice but to return to his unit with Gunnery Sergeant McAdams, and Jams, Corporal Billy Jameson. They are able to fight off the Japanese for a little while, but eventually the Philippines gets taken over and they become prisoners of war. Unfortunately, the Japanese do not adhere to the Geneva Convention and the rules of holding prisoners of war. All of the POWs are forced to travel on foot 60 miles to Camp O'Donnell, a prisoner of war camp. Without food or water, many men die on the trip to Camp O'Donnell. Others perish from dysentery and malaria once they reach the camp. Tree, Gunny, and Jams try to stick together on their journey and eventually find each other. However, along the way, Tree often finds himself at odds with a Japanese guard he nicknames Scarface. Scarface seems to have it out for Tree and punishes him at every chance that he gets. Often the treatment is so harsh that Tree wonders if he will survive. Dig deep. That's what Gunny has told Tree from the very beginning. When things become too hard to bear, the beatings, the starvation, the thirst, and the pain, dig deep and put your mind somewhere else. Escape the moment. Tree uses this philosophy especially when he's tortured by the Japanese for trying to help others in the camp. He believes it is the only way to survive. Will Tree be able to dig deep and survive the most horrific treatment of human being? Will he eventually be rescued from the United States and return home? This title has action, adventure, suspense, and grit that makes you want to jump in and help the characters out. If you like historical fiction stories about World War II or stories of POWs, you will love Prisoner of War by Michael P. Spradlin. Available at your local Scholastic Book Fair and on sale in other markets June 27, 2017.